love having thrilling adventures and travelling through amazing countries. And on this expedition, I'm in South Africa. I want you to join me on this incredible journey as we go climbing, diving, flying.
Beautiful view, I must say.
And mining.
This is amazing!
It's going to be an exhilarating expedition.
Oh my God!
Easy, easy.
Let's get out!
I'm riding my motorcycle to each frontier, and I will be joined by my old friend Russ Malcolm and the rest of the expedition team. Starting off from Cape Town, I'm going to take you on an intrepid journey. I'll head to the most southerly point, travel east following the coast before making our way north. We'll then head right across the country to the west before returning south to Cape Town, covering over 6,000 miles of rugged, beautiful and fascinating terrain. And of course, coming face to face with wonderful African wildlife.
It's quite relaxing, really, Africa.
Just everywhere you look is a photograph. I just absolutely love this place. It really is an African adventure. Previously on this journey, I got out of my depth while trying to surf at Insuli Beach.
It's so much bigger than I thought it would be.
I nearly died while trying to drive the very icy road to the top of the infamous Sunny Pass.
Easy, easy.
Camped in the beautiful sub-zero conditions next to the second highest waterfall in the world. Spectacular! I started my journey in Cape Town. So far I've ridden approximately 1,500 miles around South Africa, and I'm still in the province of KwaZulu-Natal.
I might try and come in for a landing.
Charley! Get over the power line!
Christ.
Such explosives here. Extreme tree climb.
Definitely a lot of dangerous animals around.
This morning I'm at the Zulu Nyala Heritage Safari Lodge. I'm going to get a unique perspective of the wildlife from the air. In Africa, one of the great things you can do down here is come on a game drive, where we are now, driving on this vehicle. Or you could do it a slightly different way, which is what I'm going to try and do today. I'm going to go up in a paramotor. Basically, it's a parachute, and you stick an engine on your back, and you take off, and you fly around Africa here, and look at all the animals from above. You know, it's a bit risky, but I'm ready to do it. I'm so nervous as well. Here we are. This is only my second flight after having done training back in the UK to get to grips with this machine. Okay, come on, Charlie. Basically, I'm going to turn myself into an aeroplane by strapping on this small engine to my back. The paramotors are powered by a two-stroke internal combustion engine, which turns the carbon fiber propeller. The wing of my plane is a parachute. I could fly as long as 3 hours if I wanted. I'm not sure if I'll last that long, but I'm going to try my best.
When you start running, go to full power, and then as you get it up, you can slowly come off the power, okay?
Okay.
Good. Let's see how we go.
Look at that sun.
It's the most incredible form of flight. It's so personal and so free and so... It's just the best, absolutely.
The last time I did this, I was in England, and now we're under here and in the middle of Africa. My second flight ever. Oh, God, Bruce! Yes! Yeah, we're all men here. We're big willies. Men and sheep on over. Men and sheep on over this one.
There's a lot of wild game around here. So I think if the most dangerous thing about today is if Charley has an outlanding, he could land in a thorn tree and scratch himself up, and then he's got to contend with elephant, rhinoceros and wild giraffe, and that's going to be the scariest part of it.
Let's get me up then, shall we?
Okay, ready? So first I strap the engine to my back, and after that, with some help, I connect the parachute. The accelerator is controlled by my thumb. As I apply the power, the parachute fills with air, and hopefully this will lift me over the bush.
So what we're going to do, the secret is to keep tension on your risers. So if you pull that till your arms are straight.
Okay.
Then you've got to run with your hands up so the wing doesn't fall back. Yeah, and I'll also shout run left or run right. Okay.
Okay.
That's I don't know.
All clear?
Well, that could go terribly wrong, couldn't it? We could go straight into this freaking bush.
My mind was racing with what I needed to do. With this being only my second flight, I was starting to feel really, really nervous. Okay.
Was a bit worrying, eh?
Shit myself out.
I thought he was going to go straight into that bush.
Getting a bit more comfortable. Just a bit nervous about not going forward, that's all. Okay, excellent. Yeah, just stay nice and high. We're coming up to join you.
Incredible to be floating above the African landscape. We were looking down on a 4,500-acre reserve where elephant, rhino, buffalo, hippo, giraffe and buck roam among the other animals and bird life.
Pretty beautiful view, I must say. Pretty incredible.
Then the wind picked up and started to cause me problems. I couldn't go any higher because the winds would be even stronger, and I was already at maximum wind speed for my wing. I had to stay low, but that also caused problems.
Well, Charley's just disappeared below the horizon, so we're going up this end of the runway to see if we can catch him if he lands up here.
I'm just desperately trying to stay on this nice clearing in case anything happens, I have to ditch it.
Well, he didn't sound confident on the radio. I can see him now.
Charlie, so you can go straight ahead over the field and then join the road, and then turn left and then you'll be back on the runway.
He's coming in now. Oh my God.
Hard time coming for a landing.
He's coming into across that power line, Charlie.
Not really getting anywhere.
He's low!
So I would just leave it. Be prepared to take a whole lot of break when you're just about to touch it. Okay, Charlie? Charlie, to the left!
Charlie!
Over the power line! I tell you what, that was my second flight ever. But that was pretty hairy, I must say. I was just sort of fighting, trying to get back here. Jesus Christ. That was, I'd say, sort of 70% fear and 30% interesting stuff.
Wow, guys, breakfast? We are continuing our journey through KwaZulu-Natal. This region boasts the largest concentration of battlefields in the southern hemisphere. But there was one battlefield in particular that I am interested in, the Battle of Rorke's Drift, which is the basis of one of my favourite films, Zulu, starring Michael Caine. It is somewhere I have been dying to visit so I can find out the truth behind the movie.
Dave Sutcliffe, is that right?
That's correct.
Yes. So tell me, is the film Zulu, is it accurate?
No, not really. It's a spectacular film that makes the English feel terrifically English, despite the fact that it was a bunch of Welshmen. But the real event took place much earlier in that day, here at Sandwell.
The British regarded the Zulus as a threat to their colony, and on the 22nd of January 1879 they entered Zulu land with the single intention of destroying the Zulu army. But around 16,000 Zulu warriors had other ideas, and they descended upon the British camp, leaving 1,400 troops massacred on the plains of Sandwell.
The Zulu army came over the top of this hill like the shadow of a cloud and wiped out that camp in the space of 2 hours.
But I just can't imagine what the British Army must have seen as they came over this hill, rushing down to them.
The military mastermind behind the Zulus was Chaka, a previous king of the Zulus who united the clans to create a 50,000-strong army who fought with a ferocity never seen before on the savannah.
Chaka had devised a fighting method with a shield and a short stabbing spear, a bit like your old Roman sword. He would rush up to you, smack his shield up against your shield, or if he could get the end under your shield, push it up to the right. He'd claw the stabbing spear into your heart or your armpit. It would come out. You would go down on the ground. He would then go to you and he would tear you open from sternum to groin, pull out your entrails, because this let the spirit out of the body. And then if he had time, he would dig his hand in and pull out your gallbladder and suck the blood and say, "That's
That's what a horrible way to go. That would just be horrendous.
A few survivors from the massacre made their way to Rorke's Drift to raise the alarm. They were closely followed by 4,000 Zulus baying for their blood.
So we've come down the hill. Actually, I must say that you look spectacular. But this here is actually the site, isn't it, of the film Zulu, their big stand.
Yes.
Is it exactly how it was, or?
Very, very similar. The only thing different is, of course, at the time it had a thatched roof, and it did have another room at the end of this veranda.
The garrison was centered around the hospital and the storehouse. A perimeter wall was hastily built, but after helping to build this wall, around 250 native levies fled their post. That left the garrison to be defended by just 140 British soldiers. It was around 4 p.m. that the Zulus began to attack. With a reduced garrison, it soon became apparent that the perimeter wall, which included the hospital, was too large to defend. The commanding officer, Lieutenant Chard, had a difficult decision to make.
Chard realized he couldn't hold this perimeter. He had to make that terrible decision to withdraw. They built a biscuit box wall, which you can see before, abandon the men in the hospital. This is where the desperate battle for the hospital took place.
The fight for the within a battle, with the roof on fire and Zulus forcing entry at the doors and windows, the soldiers' only chance of escape was to make their way to the east wall, where hopefully they could exit through the high window. Of course, they had no way of knowing that once through, they would have to run the gauntlet of the Zulu guns and spears to get to the safety of the new perimeter.
They reckon that they actually had to smash the frame out of it to get out.
They were so close on either side, weren't they?
Yes.
I mean, it was
within
can you
throwing
imagine?
distance of a spear.
Can you imagine running
But
across
after
here?
what you've been through
and you've got
inside
injured
there,
people, you've got
wounded people that had to be carried.
so they were carrying us and they were running across, firing and spears and everything coming up here. I mean, they must have been terrified.
There's no two ways about it. So they got over this wall that is here.
Yeah.
This is the hastily built biscuit box wall.
So they hopped over this.
Get over this.
Yeah.
You've now got that building forming one side of your perimeter, this wall, that wall along there, and then what they call the substantial stone kraal.
And this was their kind of their last stand.
This was going to be their last stand.
And they were just down in here, just trying to save themselves.
They've been standing on the top of this wall with their plunger bayonet, long-tall bayonet. As soon as you can see, there's already a rocky bank to climb up. He got up here, and then the man could take it.
So I suppose when it first started off, there would be some sort of chain of command, wouldn't there?
They would wait till they see the Zulu rushing at them. The officers shout, "Present! Oliver! 40 yards! Fire!"
It is estimated that at the beginning of the battle, the British had 20,000 rounds of ammunition, but by dawn the next day, they were down to their last box.
Can you imagine what they must have felt like? I mean, they must have thought, this is it.
This is it. Especially when they saw the Zulu army.
Of course, as the dawn came on, they thought, Christ, this is all over.
From there, the Zulu army could see down the valley, and they could see the remainder of the column coming, and they took their loot, because they had raided all the farms across the entire valley. It was all over.
The Battle of Rorke's Drift saw no fewer than 11 Victoria Crosses awarded, the largest number to a single unit for a detached action. The British finally defeated the Zulu army at the Battle of Ulundi on the 4th of July, 1879. I had a fascinating day yesterday learning about what went on at the Battle of Rorke's Drift, but we had to pack up out of us. Last night we camped at the beautiful coastal town of St. Lucia, but it's time to leave now as we have a ride of 330 miles to get to our next destination, the Gold Rush era town of Barberton.
The town of Barberton. This is where a big gold rush happened in the 1880s, but they've still been mining here ever since, really, in small numbers. But what's interesting about here is that the mountains here are some of the oldest in the world. They are 3.5 billion years old, and we're going to go down, hopefully down into a working mine where they're taking gold. There's gold in them there mountains! Gold!
This is the Galaxy Gold Reef's Agnes mine, which opened in the 1880s when gold was first found here. 168,000 tons of gold-bearing ore is removed from this mine every year. This rock has been brought up fresh from the mine face. I know it doesn't look like it, but there is gold in them rocks. The rock is dumped here, where it will be crushed, and the gold contained in the rock will be filtered out. This is the end of the process, but what I'm really interested in is how they get the rock out of the mountain, and that's why I'm going in to find out.
So look, we are heading into that mine shaft there, and we're going on this little train, this diesel engine here. We've got to keep our hands and everything in, otherwise we might get our hands taken out. So anyway, here we go. Right.
Travel nearly 2 miles to get to the working area of the mine, and I had no idea what to expect.
is old in there. And these, they go all the way along here with these chutes, looks like. And they just drop it in and they take them out and process it.
This is the central hub of the mine where the main winding machinery is. It is used to operate the lift that brings the mine rock out and also transports the miners up and down.
And how much rock do you actually take out every day?
Daily, it's, what is that, morning? About 400 tons?
Roughly 400 tons a day. And then that gets put through the machines, crushed, washed, and then the gold.
It's really heavy-duty stuff, but some of it looks ancient. So I had my heart in my mouth as we started our half-mile.
It's so rocky. I just love this speed. It's just so cool. It really is.
The lift brings us down at a speed of approximately 5 meters a second. It was faster than I thought as we sunk deep into the blackness. It's nice to see, though, that even the people who spend a whole day down here still have a great sense of humor.
So is that bit of gold on your tooth from here? Is it? Is that how you smuggle it out? No, it's the same tooth every day.
This is incredible. I've never been so close to a working mine face before. This is where it all happens.
Wow, this is the rock face to get that gold. And they're drilling holes in here. And you see all these holes here, they're going to put explosives in. Do a controlled explosion. And then all this shrapnel down here, they'll scoop up and there's gold in there. Gold. They're just cleaning all the holes. They're going to put the explosives in. And then boom!
After explosives, you can mishandle and mistreat quite a lot before anything will happen.
What I saw, I mean, they were bringing them in and they were just shoving them with the pole.
Yeah. Look, like I say, you can mistreat them up to a certain point, but everything's got its limits.
This is what they're ramming in. And it's soft. It's like a sausage. And it's like liquid inside. There. Explode gel. Warning, explosive. There's just a bag of them here. Just we put that over rice and everyone steps on it. And you can smell it. It's just got this weird kind of greasy, mechanical kind of pooey smell to it. You don't do that every day, do you? It's just a guy, he's just ramming it in, as if it's nothing.
And we're going to try and find one of our cameras into their blast zone and see if we can get anything on camera. So the miners are working with us to route the hole where we're going to put the camera, and then they're going to put the explosives in, and then we're going to run.
When you do explosives, that's what I learned in the army, right? When I went and did explosives, what you do is you set the explosives, and then you walk away calmly, because if you leg it, you trip over, the explosive goes off, and stuff.
This is a 2.1 meter fuse, 4 minute 20 to 4 minute 30 seconds from the time that it burns from here until it ignites. And this is what gives you time to get away. As soon as this go on, you can check the time, 4.5 minutes, it'll go off.
And here, you can see the web.
Yes.
So from the center around it goes.
Your cortex starts in here, but as you will see later on in camera footage, this cortex will just be a giant flash. And that's all you see. And only from there on the explosives will go off.
Okay, so the orange ones are the ones that time it.
The initial bang that you will hear is the cortex. because it's so highly explosive, it's extremely loud. It makes a hell of a noise.
These are the minicams that we use, and hopefully this is going to capture the whole thing. Hopefully it doesn't get destroyed. He's going to light the fuse, and then we're going to walk in a controlled manner to a safe spot, and then hear the explosion. Right? Go for it. Yep. So you want to wait for that first bit.
As soon as you see where it dries out a bit more, you see it expands, vanish there.
Yeah.
There you go. Dries down, and
There you go. And that's 4 minutes 20 from here. We're moving down the tunnel away from the blast, but we are still close enough to feel the concussion of the explosion. Oh, is this a blast door?
it's just to take away most of the concussion.
Oh, the concussion.
Control the ventilation and so on. Yeah, the door's not.
Right.
Keep them open.
Keep them open. Whoa. How long do we have now on that? 3 minutes. Actually, we've got 1 minute to go, guys. I must say, I've never been in this position before in my life about just waiting for an explosion underground to go off.
It's a limit, but you get guys that take liberties. Stand there until the last second and goes out, and usually those are the guys that kills themselves.
How long we got now?
30 seconds.
30 seconds. God, that was the longest 30 seconds of my life just then. Come on, I wanted to go.
We just have it our mouths open. Mouths open, gets close. Go finish.
Can we count it down with you now?
It's 4 minutes 15. Between 5 and 10.
That was brilliant. You can certainly feel it, definitely. I wasn't quite expecting it. I thought it was going to be more. Thank you very much for letting say. You're going to go and retrieve the camera. I'm ready. The places you end up is just brilliant. It's just brilliant. And I just love it. Just have a look.
Nothing wrong with it. You don't even know before.
I think it's alright. I don't think there's any scratches on it.
Let's go before.
Yeah, okay. Like all these things, you never really understand the effort and the amazing design and thought process that goes through all of these minds and what people are doing. They're doing dangerous stuff. They take it all very seriously, but with humour and it's real boy stuff. Right. That's just nice. Yeah. We're now moving from the gold mine to another thing that South Africa is famous for, the Kruger National Park. We're going to be driving through the park and camping overnight. And because we're travelling amongst truly free and wild animals, we're going to need a guide.
We are in dangerous game areas. Sometimes it's very easy to be complacent about it, but we always have to be very watchful and careful.
Since bikes are not allowed in the park, we will be travelling in 4 4x4s using radio communications to talk to each other.
I hope you have a name so we know who is and which vehicle.
This is Rubber Duck calling butt breath.
Who's butt breath?
Butt breath?
I don't want to be butt
Stinky face?
Sticky face?
Look, why not use some wild animal names?
Can I be a wombat?
You look like a lion.
I look like a lion. I'll take that. Lion, cheetah,
No, Clapham Junction.
What junction?
Oh, it's a train station in London. Whatever you want. Lion, Clapham Junction, leopard, and cheetah. follows along the fence line of the Mozambique border. Our destination is Crook's Corner, where the borders of South Africa, Mozambique and Zimbabwe meet. It's a journey of more than 270 miles.
Oh, rhino, oh my God. Jesus, look at that.
Copy the rhino, over.
Yeah, I've just noticed it's one of those mechanical ones. It's fake. Look at the birdie on its shoulder.
That's an oxpecker.
An oxpecker.
Hand-built oxpecker. It doesn't get any better than this.
We've only been in here like a minute. We've got a bird feeding out of his mouth. Literally, there's a tiny little bird scavenging, isn't it, off what they're eating and actually living on their backs. Hello, boys.
Put his hand out as if they're a dog.
He would like to pet them.
Not sure how good an idea that is.
Poaching has become a huge problem, particularly with the rhinos and being taken.
Yeah.
So the park is taking measures to try and protect the rhinos in a big way. We have the army here now. They are patrolling the border actively. That's in addition to the already people on the ground, as in field rangers.
Yeah.
Bye, guys. See you next time.
I was interested to find out more about the Kruger and the animals that call it their home, so I met up with a game park vet.
I think that's one of the big selling points of Kruger, is that we've had 100 years of pretty much complete protection, so that most of the species have no fear of people or vehicles.
A big part of Marcus's job is putting animals to sleep so he can examine them. I was curious to find out just how you sedate a rhino.
So this is basically my immobilization kit.
Yep.
All of these drugs here is either to put an animal to sleep or to reverse it. You've got your dart, you've got a chamber where you put the drug in. I pressurize the back.
Okay, so that's what. So that means once it hits and that this bit moves out the way, it
pushes the plunger
forward.
And with this combination in rhino, you're looking at about 4 to 5 minutes, and the animal will be down.
And then the reverse drug takes.
The reversal drug takes about a minute.
About a minute. Oh,
so you're injecting it directly into the brain.
And then you've got to get out the way as quickly as possible.
For a rhino, this is 3 milligrams I was going to use on that rhino. A human will die from 0.1 milligram. So you don't want to mess around with this at all. 20 times the potency of morphine. I just wanted to show you the dart gun.
The dart gun. Oh, wow.
So you've got a little dial here.
The pressure.
And the more pressure, the further you can shoot.
Yeah.
And then this is a red dot scope. So I'll just give you a demonstration. So the dart just goes in there, and then you pressurize it. So obviously the higher the pressure, the bigger the distance.
Yep. Okay, so you go for that rock.
Yeah, so the whole plan is to try and get a nice deep muscle injection. Now if you had a rhino standing there, you have to really crank up the pressure because they've got such thick skin. So a soft little dart like that will just bounce off him. I don't know if you want to have a go.
Yeah.
You didn't miss.
But brilliant, thank you for showing that for us. If anything happens to me, guys... Ow! Look, it was just that. I could just really hear. It was a good shot.
We've seen rhinos, zebra, and now we're looking at Charley's button.
It was time to say goodbye to Marcus and head for camp. I was eager to see what luxurious accommodations awaited us.
Do you reckon they've got hot showers? It's a campsite.
We've got Trust with us. He's armed. He's obviously fully qualified in, the habitat and the behaviors of animals. Definitely a lot of dangerous animals around.
We might be lucky to hear lions roaring at night.
Fantastic.
Sometimes elephants.
Hippos.
We are not fenced at all here, so absolutely anything.
People have been known to be pulled out of tents at night and stuff like that, but no, very rarely. You guys don't have to worry about mosquitoes though. This time of year you're not going to see any mosquito. Only the summer or the rainy season.
I think mosquitoes have no purpose on this planet at all.
Well, they do.
What?
And the purpose, the food chain. Birds and all sorts of stuff eat them.
You could just say, yeah, Russ, I agree with
I
you.
don't know.
You do. Shut up. I'm just saying they kill so many people with malaria. Mosquitoes cause millions of unnecessary deaths and therefore should be eradicated.
Hippos
Well, no.
kill thousands of people. So, should they be there? Frogs.
Holidays would be
Frogs eat
nice. You don't get bitten. You don't have to put DEET
Or maybe
on.
just go to places where there aren't mosquitoes.
Well, I do.
Like here now.
But this is a lucky time of the year, though.
And then you come here this time of year.
I have.
There you go. They have a purpose. Without them, then all the lizards, the spiders, everything else goes, doesn't it? So, I'm sorry, Russ, but, you're wrong. Yeah, the ecosystem is bad because it's an ecosystem.
You never win an argument with Charley. This is not possible.
No. Russ, 9 o'clock. Had a nice meal and a couple of beers, and it was really nice. And saw some beautiful rhino today. And you can't come to Africa without going on a game drive, and that's what. And the biggest silly animals have just passed by. Anyway, we're going to.
The book up early this morning about 5:30, and we're leaving here about 6. We've got to get to Crook's Corner today, and because we've still got a fair bit to go. But I woke up and I heard it. I'm pretty sure it was a lion.
They started over here. That real low growl. I thought it was somebody snoring first, and then I held my breath, and you could still hear it going. And then they moved over here.
There was some thought when you're camping, you've got this tiny little sort of canvas tent, and there's potentially a big lion just over there somewhere, all calling to each other, thinking there's some easy meat.
It's really cloudy today, isn't it?
No, is he with you?
No, he's not with me, mate.
Well, he's not here. Did anyone pick him up at the camp?
No, I didn't. Maybe he's with, Trust.
Give me the radio. Charlie's being mean. Yes, I'm here.
This is the biggest biobattery I think I've ever seen in my life. They say it's about 500 years old. It is huge. My God. Wow. String tree climbing.
That's about as far as I'm going to go as well.
Unbelievable.
I've just seen an enormous elephant walking straight towards us.
Are we safe here, Trust?
No, I will move forward and try to get him off the way. Because if we let him keep coming, he will really feel he is the boss, and that might give us a bit of trouble.
Okay.
So I'll quickly move forward to see if I can get him off.
Okay.
A total fluid of the genital. In that condition, they are generally agitated.
Trust, why don't we just stop our engines and let us see if he walks past the cars?
He doesn't want us to, if the elephant comes towards us and doesn't get off the road, he thinks he's the boss and he might well attack the cars.
He's launching towards him, look.
here ago. I'm sure he is still close enough. He's continuing.
Let's go.
Panicking back.
Going with street out, it's hard to just had to go and sort of launch the car towards him just to make him just move off the side, just to tell him who's boss. Quite exciting now. The border's just up here, Crooks Corner is just up here. We're just about to get to our destination. To the crocodiles. So we're in South Africa, right here. Halfway across this riverbed is Zimbabwe, and then just over there is Mozambique. So it's Crooks Corner, and here doing apartheid and all that kind of stuff. They used to run guns here, ivory. People used to run across here all the time. Look all the crocodiles, Russ. They're all along there. I was going, look, we could just run across the river. And he goes, well, there's going to be crocodiles, hippos, and then there's soldiers on the other side.
And you can't see what's happening in those bushes, can you?
What could possibly go wrong, eh? There's a whole bunch of Zimbabweans just here. Hello! That's so nice. Zimbabweans, he's been brilliant, by the way, and just been so patient, and you've been a great laugh, and I've enjoyed tremendously hanging out with you. And
so it's been a privilege for me.
Yeah, right, yeah, whatever. Okay, bye. It's been truly an incredible few days for me traveling through the Kruger. I can't believe how close we've come to so many amazing animals, and it's wonderful to be able to see them in their natural environment. My journey continues next week, where I get up close and personal to some scorpions. She's Helen. I experience gigantic machinery and an iron ore mine.
Just makes you feel so dwarfed.
I track lions with bushmen of the Kalahari. They were only here about 5 minutes ago.
What's up? Lion.
To go dredging for diamonds on the ocean floor.
Please don't